I am alive. Ugh. Mostly alive. More alive than I've been this past week. I'm not dead. Couldn't kill me. Made me feel dead. Not quite, though. We'll wait for one to filter in before we begin. More of the goofy GoPro go through hell shenanigans. But do a little bit of shopping, a little bit of looking around here. See what silly gillies we can find. Popped up on a lot of cold flu medication at the moment, so I'm a little bit dazed. But I'm mostly here right now. Mostly. Okay. Pretty much ready to begin here. I think I'm just gonna go maybe based on votes. See what's looking good. The public wouldn't lie to me on what's good. Hello, specific vehicle classification. Hello, titanium. I'm almost good. I'm almost I'm almost disease free. Give it a day or two. I think we'll just go down the list. We'll do envy. It's got a big number. That means it's good. That's the metric I'm going off. Big number equals good. Too far back. Still haven't. Gotta find a time for pain atrophy. Matter of fact, I'll store it so I remember. be at the top of my list as a reminder. Bundle was made for revamp update of ULTRAKILL. Expect issues. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Wait, hang on. Where was that located? Pride? Is there like a second or like a first part to this that I don't know about? Hold on. Give me one moment. There's levels to this. No, it's just that one. 157 bundles. It's only this one though. I guess that's just for show. This is interesting. AI generated by ChatGPT 7 Pro. Much better to let things flow on their own.
Did you know Cerberus carry apples? This is because an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So, virtues come from human souls? I don't know why. No one does. Did you know strays will try keeping you at a safe distance? And this is because they are afraid to die.
Oh, interesting. Go at it. Envious grass can wound the densest metal. Kinda got a bit of violence to it. I am fucking with how floral this level is, though. It's pretty cool. Cool. Alright then. Did this break? No. Oh! Okay, let me go through the glass maybe? Okay. I guess back outside. Oh. Okay then. Wow. I like the skybox. Very, very cool level design, for sure. What are we idling over here? Shit! I didn't realize there was two. Rip. Oh my god, there's three! Oh. Is there like multiple directions I can go? If so, that's... Oh no, there's a pedestal. Okay. That makes a bit more sense. I was gonna say, because branching paths would be really sick. What will spawn now that we've collected the goal, I wonder. Nothing, it would seem. Long hallway. Definitely not suspect. Water? Kind of gives me the vibes of like the final level, or like the final area, I guess, in near Replicant. It's kind of what this reminds me of. Oh, there's a gutter tank. Ooh, there was a second one. Okay. Me weapon swap a little better there. Damn, okay. I have been working in ULTRAKILL. I thought the penis part was going to be the thing that got corrected. My bad. Welcome to chat, Slap. Ooh. Very cool looking. Hey, Jam. Welcome back. Oh, okay. Right, idle mind flare. I'm getting my ass handed to me. That's it, you and me. Let's go. Welcome to the chat, May. Fuck these centuries, man. Easy work. Random thing, but I kind of dislike how a lot of challenges and custom levels are less challenges, but more secrets. I don't know. I feel like secrets are fun, though. Man, my time was ass. And the style. Don't touch the grass. That's not really even a challenge, though. Let's just don't fall into the grass. I'm more late than usual, I guess. I mean, so am I. I just had a lot of housework I needed to catch up on because I was sick the entire week. But I knew I needed the stream because I also was sick. So I guess, but it kind of goes against what a challenge is. I mean, depends on how easy the secret is to find. I'd argue that like Call of Duty zombie map Easter eggs are kind of a challenge. I know that's not really synonymous with this game, but it's just the first example that came to my head. Doesn't really affect the quality of the level. True, true. Yeah, no more custom maps. Yeah. I was like debating if I wanted to do Ultra Kill today or not. Because what I'd like to do is focus on a game I could do like a YouTube video around. But the problem is that I haven't been streaming. I've been dead the entire week. So I feel like I deserve using old reliable just this once. Till I can get my shit figured out. Also, I'm not as late as usual. That's because I am late. Channel points overload 16.5k. Jam's gonna be able to afford whatever I change the channel point buy-ins to at some point in the future. I would change them, but I'm waiting on some art from Azrael, so until then. Me change. Let me get us out of the elevator shaft real quick. Let's take a look. That 3 stream streak. Appreciate that, Slap. I do think it's interesting changing the store. This is pretty neat. Take breaks both from short activities and more grand ones. You don't want to feel like a walking corpse afterwards, do you? If you spam it?
Did you know virtues come? Did you know schisms have 4 names? This is because their head is on their shoulder. Did you know jolts are green? This is because jolts are green. Did you know soldiers have high self-confidence? This is because their augments make them feel more safe. Did you know schisms? Did you know mannequins have 14 total heads? This is because they need to hold themselves together.
Like really fast. I know. I hit it a couple times, but I figured there was some that I didn't hear.
Did you know strays will try? Did you know guttermen require a living fuel source to function? Why? How cool. Did you know virtue? Did you know? Did you know jolts are the lowest form of husk? This is because their soul didn't try hard enough. Did you know? Did you know? Did you know?
Slap, where's the funny at? Where's the funny at? Am I getting pranked?
They are afraid to die.
Takes a bit. Okay. Riveting gameplay. This is what everyone watches my stream for. Feel badge from my right trigger. God, how long does this take? No secret should take this long. God damn it. Slap, I'm gonna have to keep it real. I think I'm gonna give up on that now. You might just have to explain the funny. The funny shouldn't take that long. No more grass. Oh, it's water. Green lights. Basically, the elevator shuts and the terminal begins to vent about its hatred for living and have a mental breakdown about its existence, and then it abruptly stops and terminal. Oh, okay. I'll try it again after this. Is it supposed to be like a I have no mouth and I must scream reference? Something like that? Ooh. Ow. Right. Grass evil here. The music is sick as fuck. It's envy. Understandable. Probably one of my favorite parts about Purgatorio. But envy is really good too. It's a shame. Oh, you're talking about the terminal. It's a shame Purgatorio got canceled. So this was meant to be like a larger project, but it got canceled. Why did it get canceled? They just didn't want to do it anymore. Damn. I mean, I can understand that too. Like, this is borderline DLC level quality. Basically is. And I know this took a while. I've been working on some pretty big projects and I fucking makes me want to quit doing game development. Game development is like probably one of the roughest fields you can try and get yourself into. For sure, for sure. Like, you gotta be built different to get into game development. Skull. Ooh. I supposed to do something with this? I guess we go this way. Oh. If I remember correctly, it was partially due to a lack of communication, but getting your ideas out there is the greatest feeling. Yeah, that's for sure. Lack of communication will absolutely decimate your project. But finishing the project is one of the greatest feelings ever. Better than sex. Not that I would know anything about that. Someone's still alive. Random filth just chilling. Looking up, Purgatory was cancelled due to a lack of communication, internal division, and immature actions taken by the devs. Whatever that means. Meant to be a set of 3 acts based on Dante's Purgatory. Immature actions is a strange way of putting it for sure. But I suppose they just didn't want to oust anybody. Unfortunate development. You know, speaking of the topic, you move fast. Damn. Is it a light enemy? Or did I just grapple it at a weird time? Okay, that's not gonna work. Ooh. Oh boy, I fucking hate this boss. It's literally just V2 but with more annoying attacks. And it's on top of its obnoxiously fast movement. They could at least slowed it down a bit. My advice is to spam coins and heal off green balls. Is that really the strategy? That's sad if it is. Fuck! I'm doing things to this controller, I hope you people know. Fuck. This guy is crazy. This dude actually is an unfortunate development. No! That health bar, though. I'm gonna be honest with you, use the sister cheats. I won't mock you at all. Unnecessary. We don't need that. He's not that hard. Just need to not get blasted for a sec. Goddamn son of a bitch. Projectile spamming. He's kind of like at B2 in that one secret boss from the first level of Violence. Forgot his name. Had a baby. Kind of what this reminds me of. Big Johninator, yeah! The only difference is you can't use the freeze rocket ability to instant kill him pretty much. That was a little too early. Ooh, 5 health gaming. Damn it. I'm being bullied by unfortunate development. Damn it. There's some times where he likes to stay really far away, and then there's other times like this where he wants to get in your face. It's kind of weird. He's unpredictable. Here, I got our solution right here. Hold on, I got you. I missed. Rip. This sentence is really funny considering Big Johninator also uses V2 AI, so it's like V2 squared. Yeah, it does feel kind of like that. This is a rare time where I feel bad for streamers suffering and not amused, for I have the experience to understand the pain of fighting this asshole. I don't think I like grayscale color choice anymore. Not when everything is blending together so you can't see shit. Yeah, a little bit. The cancerous rodent green is kind of nice, I guess. Welcome to the corner, bitch. Man, this is rough. B2 Prime, maybe? Contender? Watch as I abuse his AI. He doesn't know about this area. Hello? Bitch ass boss. No, damn it. Please tell me that. No! He killed me after he died. That son of a bitch. That's so sad. Oh, he figured out. Ah! Oh, he's in here with me? Let me just get him around this corner, boys. He won't even know what's coming. Ah, yes. This was the way ULTRAKILL was meant to be played. Collection of books in PDF format, piracy, nothing remarkable. Collection of audio files titled Aleph 0, Aleph 1, so on, consisting of harsh noises, edited human voice, instrumentation. Collection of audio files labeled 2, LMC 23, LMC 235, LMC 2357, and so on. Nothing remarkable. Why would anything be remarkable to you, Walking Fortress? Your purpose is shattering the bone and drinking the viscera is a one of the world of indifference. Cycle of hunger, the ethereal war trade, this thing you just murdered. Do you know its purpose? My vessel, my armor metal. Designed to traverse highly hazardous environments, transporting information on a physical copy through long distances, high agility, and decent survival abilities. Perfect. For parasitic life form to thrive, to bathe in the rays of glorious sun, following the blood sand of the beach of the burned sea, where the horizon screams of desolation, the cold, uncaring metal stretching upwards above the ring of man's folly, and the waters and the rain down just as usual. The doll you have just fought is long dead, corpse animated by hell energy, spreading our filth in divine sanctuary, like antenna for other atrocities to thrive, to tear apart the seraphic velum we found ourselves in, to pierce the black sky, standing under the impaling rain and laughing as ink fills your mouth and drowns you in its perfect art. Interesting. Worst ultra kill boss in history, he'll not be missed. Yeah, I can't say I liked that boss. Would have probably been a bit more agreeable if it were a secret boss, but even then. Like burgers. Okay. I'll get it later, May, I promise. It's even more annoying since he's a fucking mini boss. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, I didn't realize this was gonna be a whole thing. It's very cool though. Is this supposed to be like Castlevania? I love that. Like, level design is peak, but that boss could have used some work. Idle all the way up and across. The other layers are either in development hell or only have a few levels out. I personally was weirded out by the decision to have multiple layers being developed at once instead of doing one thing at a time. Unsure if it was a contributing factor towards Purgatorio's fate. Oh, it most certainly was. You almost never want to divide up your workforce across multiple like sections of whatever project you're doing. That is a quick way for a project to fall apart. That probably explains the lack of communications, because there was too many people doing too many different things. Because like you have a job when you're running a project, right, to make sure that your manpower is divided up in a way that you can still reasonably have some control over the project while also making sure that you're not focus precisioning on like something specific to the point that nothing else gets done, right? And so if you spread out too thin, then nothing's gonna get done and eventually you'll just burn out. Yeah, looking back at the development of Purgatorio, it was very disorganized in my opinion. It was just multiple layers being worked on with not one thing being focused on. Yeah, they might have had a better chance if they just focused on one layer at a time. If I was in charge for Purgatory, I would have started from Rubicon. The Prelude, it's just one. See, that's why I was confused. Because earlier in the stream, I noticed that the layers, there was like multiple layers. And I was like, did I like download the wrong one first? Like, is there more? Is there more layers? And I tried looking it up, but no, this is like the only official release. So I was like really confused. Which is also probably why they should have started with Rubicon, as you said. It's just better for like comprehension again, like people playing the mod, you know? I tried paying atrophy P ranks for a bit and came to the conclusion that that level might be a bit hard. Yeah, you and me both. We both came to that conclusion. I tried it the other day. I will give this to Pain Atrophy though. It's definitely not the kind of, it's not bullshit hard. Like it is like what I would imagine a well-rounded P3 would play like. It's fun. It just, you know, like you said, it's hard. Significantly harder than any of the levels in ULTRAKILL by far. Like I made a comment while doing it the other day, but some of the arenas in Pain Atrophy just kind of remind me of late game Cybergrind arenas. Oh, this is interesting. There's some other levels of Purgatorio out. Indulgence is out and Rubicon is locked. Pride was out for a time, but it's currently in limbo. By the way, I mean Indulgence has 2 levels out, not the entire thing, and Pride has 1 level. Truly the biggest tragedy of custom levels alongside what I call the Ultra Revamp Wipe. I got a bit over halfway through Blue Path after doing Red Path Deathless, then died to those fucking schisms in the tiny ass room. Just made aware of WSHNN and then I found out, wait, isn't that angry? Yeah, I have very little information in regards to all that. But from what you've told me so far, I can see why it ended up being that way. think they got stuck in the walls. That's fine. We're not trying for a P rank anyways. Ooh, pretty. As stars shine with their divine presence, I am here as an observer. Lately, life has felt like reading a book and looking on a story through the grading of pages and words, so far away from me. The love I felt is so distant and blank, and as the wind blows and rain falls, no matter how much I am thinking of making this one finishing blow, some part of me is still not drained of life. Some part of me still wants to lie in a bed of flowers and witness the beauty that might be left in this world. You might be familiar with this, but what matter does it hold at this point? There is nothing left for us here. I will see you in a place where night shines bright, on a borderline that I do not yet dare to cross, in a place of a source not yet familiar to me, and I doubt it will ever be. Go up the trail and witness the wondrous and depressing nature of the condition we live in. Streets have no name. It was a goated gluttony encore. Even Hikita liked it. Just speaks to its quality. It's a shame it died when Revamp came out, since the dev didn't want to port it. The other two custom levels are as good, or have gotten real close to where the streets have no name quality, and Heart of the Machine from Athena Research Facility, Dead Flag Blues from Tempest. Fortunately, both are not updated. Didn't have time to do it because of life. Yeah. I haven't been able to do any kind of game dev recently for similar reasons. Like I said, it's definitely one of the most difficult fields to get into and requires a lot of time and effort and sanity to do. I will say this, the music for these levels are hella good. These tracks are a bop. Damn. God damn it. I'm not trash, I swear you're trash. I'm just playing, I didn't mean it. Schism over here peeking around the corner. I like this arena though. This arena's cool. That Mori shockwave kind of saved my ass just then. There we go. Oh. Up the elevator shaft. Now we're getting spicy. Hi, Goose. Welcome. Oh, we're still going up. Okay, that's pretty neat. I'm not gonna lie. That's very neat. I wonder if things have gotten better for them. May I ask what kind of stuff I've worked on? Like me? My game development? I've so I've done a couple game jams at this point. Did one for a horror game. We it was it was definitely interesting because not a whole lot was happening in the project. Because so the horror game jam. Let me see if I can find the page. Ooh. Horror game jam. Gotta find the specific one I'm thinking of here. Because this was like a couple years ago. No, that's not it. I'm in their Discord anyways. That'll be an easier way to find it. Yeah, themed horror game jam. So basically, they give you like a prompt or a theme. And you have to do a game around it, and you got about a month. When we did ours, not a whole lot was happening. So I got brought on to be a writer because I wasn't as proficient at system design and project management and all this other stuff and coding and all that. So I was brought on to do like mostly narrative work. And I remember the manager, because we had like a project manager, it was a whole thing. We didn't really get a whole lot done for like 2 weeks. I felt like there wasn't a whole lot that happened, and it was a lot of rush work. So one project I'm associated with is our little game project for that called Escape Void. I did another one where I was also a writer for something Munch released. It was, I don't remember, it was for another game jam. God, dying. I feel like it was for a game jam. Called Loops. It was a physics-based puzzle game where you had to move a bunch of Fruit Loops in a milk bowl around into the shape of something. That one was released as well. But I've worked on a few projects that haven't released. I've made mention of the Terraria mod I'm working on called Reign of Fear, which I'm project lead of. We've done a few different projects that haven't released. They're just kind of shelved at the moment. Like Monolith, which was a click-based adventure game. Dreamwalker, which was a text-based adventure game, kind of like Zork. Made some pretty impressive systems that work. They function. They're just all it always comes down to the actual system design of the project is usually really well crafted, and Munch, she's such a good programmer. She can usually get it working and brought to life, but because we don't really have anyone that's dedicated to art or music or anything like that, they never really see the light of day because, you know, the unfortunate nature of humans is that we like our nice, pretty shinies, and so we eat with our eyes first. And so, for as elaborate and complicated and impressive as, you know, any kind of system design or coding may be, if you can't dussy it up, there's not really much of a point to it. So while I have worked on a lot of projects, I've not released a whole lot of projects. That's kind of the unfortunate millhouse for game development. I'd like to get myself to a point where I could like code from scratch pretty fluently so I can actually do game dev streams. I think it would be really fun to make it so that like have you guys like answer polls, kind of like a choose your own adventure kind of thing, and have y'all guys build a video game, or rather build the idea of a video game, and then I could code it in front of y'all, and that would be really fun. But the truth of the matter is that despite being a game dev, I have no artistic bone in my body. I am horrible at drawing. I'd like to get into some 3D design with Blender, but I have, like I said, no artistic skill whatsoever. Frankly, not really any time to learn any new skills or anything like that. But I mean, you know, is what it is. I'm still trying. Like with Reign of Fear, I'm still running that project. This sickness I've had has not really helped, but I'm slowly getting over it. Oh, and I'm also the lead narrative head writer for a project with another game studio other than Dark Skies, which is the one that I run. I just got promoted to gunk all over my analog stick here. Dipping my toes in the level design. I'm gonna become their level designer whenever, you know, I stop being sicky with the icky and he has time, because he runs a different business and they've been busy. And I'm also kind of dabbling in system design for them. System design is probably my most preferred position. It's what I'm good at. So he's already designed a lot of the systems, so it would be inaccurate to say that I'm their system designer, but I would probably be looking over their system and seeing if everything's up to snuff, pretty much. But that's pretty much everything I'm affiliated with at the moment. I wouldn't really call myself a proper game designer. I haven't really properly made a game, but I am within the community, for sure. I have a lot of prototype projects, but none of them are released. Sounds pretty cool, to be honest. It is pretty cool, the stuff you learn whenever you're in those circles. I know a lot of back-end information in the gaming scene. You just meet all kinds of neat people. Even if you don't release anything, you just dig into it. If you're using Unity, ULTRAKILL's level editor uses it, by the way. I don't use Unity. I started programming whenever I got into my this is actually a whole story. Let me run through this level real quick and then I'll tell you that. Sounds cool. At the very least you're a leader of a project. Sorry, I've been zoned out. There's a line of lore in WSHNN that says if you need access through City Tunnel, Theta key is still in Kennedy B7. Please tell the fragment to stop putting it. Yeah, let me see what's going on in this level real quick, and I'll tell the rest of that story. Because I'm very, very curious to see what the boss is here. It better not be just like the fucking unfortunate development. Ooh. This is very cool. Like I said, the level design for this level is fucking, or this layer is sick as hell. We're just gonna help you with auto mod there. Not as bad as shit fuck development. Not the CAPTCHA. Turn off all electronic devices. Keep away from the gates. Let me get my electronic device out. Welder. Yeah, the atmosphere is incredible. Wow. I love this to death. Forget my entire philosophy. Now I see. I think I may get it. My life has been full of shame. There was never any light in the end. I have long accepted the consequences of my spiritual ignorance. I was confused twice, imagining myself as a creature of light when all I ever was is a bleeding mess in a field of snow. Living a dream I made for myself, my own illusion to make it seem like I have higher purpose. For me, however, the truth, my world is burned, the city is froze, yet wonderful stars cover the sky like thousands angelic eyes. There is nothing to thrive for, and yet this view tells me otherwise. Bodies cover the ground, but the floor still emerges. The flower still emerges. My mind runs in circles, I can't breathe. I must enjoy the wind here and now, as the higher sky collapses under its own weight. Watching its eyes bleed out panic and distress. For I can safely say, this is the end of my life as I know it, acceptance of my decease. No matter what brings it, fall of the superstructure, or a mere insect from its roots. I can't run from my fate forever, can I? Hey, Taco. The music in this level is fucking awesome. I just killed myself. I was reading chat. Man, they should really have a sign here. Let me just jump over that. Oh, damn. This was going to be a whole thing. I don't know this, yeah. Honestly, this music is really somber for just the whole project. Kind of gives it a different tone. This is how I imagine ROF lore, yeah. It's King Nothing. Yo, he's sliding. Oh, I can't parry to save my life. Ugh! I'm doing okay. Ow. Okay. I know despite that voice crack, I'm doing okay. About to disrespect our man King Nothing here. Oh, he's angry. This boss uses homing projectiles in a good way. You mean not spamming a bajillion things while moving at Mach 9? Yeah, I'd agree with you. That being said, he could probably go for some more aerial moves. He's kind of a little bit easy to bully. I will say it's also kind of this is gonna be kind of a nitpick, but it's a little bit antithetical to the like Ultra Kill gameplay to kind of spawn in this force field to keep you boxed in with him. Usually Hikita is just content to let you like have free reign on the map however you like. Okay, I'll stay on the ground. King Nothing's beating my ass. Damn, he does a lot of damage though. And his scythe does a shit ton of damage if it lands. There you go. He's moving. He's got schmoves. Oh, god damn it. Man, he's got a crazy health bar though. Damn it. Man, those projectiles. He borderlines a bit on almost a little unbalanced. If it wasn't for his brother unfortunate development, I'd say so. But this is not nearly as bad as that, so. Yeah, the fact that that scythe move does a shit ton of damage, and that's like all he spams if you're on the ground. Let me just try to box him. Let's see if that might be better. Damn. Yeah, I'm starting to see better improvements this way. Kind of hard to keep track of this fucko though. Main man's slippery. I don't even know if he hit me. I think that might have been the arena edge. This guy kind of strikes me as like a Dark Souls boss in a few different ways. Oh, King, nothing's beating my ass. God damn, that scythe throw ability is so fucking rough. It has, I gotta see how much damage that thing does. Look at that! All the way to 5 health and 2 of them hit me. That's crazy. God damn it. Good. I think the play is that we do damage on ground and heal in air. Because getting something like somewhat decent to parry on the ground is difficult. But we can guarantee that he'll do the projectiles if I launch myself in the air. I think the problem with the scythe move is that there's like just no fucking telegraph for it. He just instantaneously in your face. Does Pain Atrophy have King Nothing in, I've already deleted the other boss's name from my brain, so much I disliked it. Does it have a duo boss at the end of it? Of those two? I sure hope it does. Unfortunate development. God, every time I turn the fuck around, it's just another one of those signs. No audio cues, no Nathan. You just get a scythe in the face. You see that? He started shooting projectiles and tried to sneak a scythe in there. The son of a bitch. I knew it. I knew there was gonna be a scythe and I fucked it up. He's spamming! Get the rep in here, he's spamming! Bye-bye. Let's go. Oh, he's a badass. It is pretty, isn't it? You spamming piece of shit. No! Ah! He's like, V2's actually pretty chill. You can go ahead. That was pretty good. I mean, the bosses could use some work, but like, man, the atmosphere was really fucking good. I didn't think that that layer was going to take 2 hours though. Damn. I was not paying attention to chat. I was getting my ass kicked. Let me go back up here. I like this boss, to be honest, but it takes a bit to get the hang of. That's for sure. He's a bit easy to bully, I said before dying afterwards. I still think he's pretty easy to bully jackhammer-wise. He could probably use a little bit of anti-air that isn't just projectile spam. But by that same notion, he could use a lot less projectile spam when he's on ground. Holy shit. If the projectiles weren't parryable like Mirror Reaper, then I could see it being more dangerous. I suppose it's understandable since this guy can't do much when you're outside of his range. This boss intrigues me since you can tell it's very unfinished. His animations aren't the best and his model is a bit unfinished. But despite that, he's still a pretty good boss, in my opinion. I guess it shows to show that looks doesn't really matter if you can make it gameplay. Yeah. He stands out due to how ass the other boss is, yeah. Indulgence has a pretty good boss. And has a good custom enemy. Am I gonna do any more? I could probably do a little bit more, provided it's not too long. If anyone's got any suggestions. But yeah, Envy was great. I liked it. It's unfortunate to hear what happened to it though. But I mean, what are you going to do? Game development is an insidious thing sometimes. I would say Indulgence because you mentioned it, but trying to shoot for something that won't take longer than 30 minutes here. Epitaph? No, I have not. I mean, you have to understand, I haven't done any custom levels ever, so you just have to assume I've not done it. We'll do some Epitaph. Yeah. Now time for P3. We'll wait until that comes out, Goose. We'll wait until that comes out. Maybe we could do Indulgence after this. How long is Indulgence? Ooh, it's bright. I let that random ass mannequin just kill me like that. All you need is red. That stray just about ended my life. Methinks something bugged out. Right. We'll try that again. Weird. I don't know what happened last time. Poor May over here is like, I don't like the grayscale anymore. This is the only flavor this stream's gonna be. Who needs colors? Lucy goes in the Twilight Zone to stream. I love the old Twilight Zone show. I think the first episode of Twilight Zone I watched was that episode where, God, I'm trying to remember how it goes. So it's basically this, like, really generic kind of suburban neighborhood, and they all, like, all the neighbors, like, turn on each other because they think, like, I don't know, because, like, isn't it, like, aliens come down and start fucking with their equipment and stuff, but, like, they never, like, show themselves or anything like that. They're just genuinely rage baiting everybody that lives in the neighborhood or something like that. God, I'm trying to remember. I know there's an episode like that. To be honest, this is better than Envy somewhat because violence is mostly white, at least the first level, which this one is based off. Envy, on the other hand, is just fuck you in your eyeballs. I guess so. I didn't mind it that much. Though I will say, it would have been a little bit cooler if there was like a different, I guess, color gradient than violent. Because it does just kind of look like violence. But not really. Like, I don't know, the negative version of violence. It definitely looks cool though. That atmosphere, baby, that atmosphere. There we go. This fuck ass sentry messing with me the entire arena. Well, there you go, May. We have some red now. There's a death catcher afoot. Oh, this isn't a death catcher. This is from the tree. Okay. I see now. Wahoo! Red. Ugh. Blood tree. This kind of reminds me of the first Inktober I did actually completed. It was a Goretober, and the list was made by my ex from combining multiple different Goretober and Inktober prompts we found. Guess we could try Indulgence if you want. Sure. Got time for one more, I think. Big number means good. Missing or out-of-dated scripts. Not anymore. Oh, this looks cool. It is wild they try to do every single layer though. That's crazy. I couldn't imagine doing that. Because this is like way up there on like the layer ladder, right? So they must have been trying to do all layers at once. Foolishness machine. That's what that is. Foolishness. Even Hikita couldn't do that. I will say though, these levels have some like genuine quality to them. Oh. There's a filth. Hi, filth. It is a pretty cool skull model. Ravens. Huh. That black hole. I will say one thing they've got down pat is the ambience. Holy shit. These levels look so cool. Oh, high power. Ah, damn cravens. Fun fact, this power was originally a custom enemy, but said enemy is broken. Damn. A lot of the Purgatory music was made by Dove. It's good. Music is another really good part of this mod pack. Like I said, the ambience is peak. It's just that, honestly, my main problem is just boss design. Because the arenas are pretty good too. Them bosses just need work. And I think the bosses not only need work on like the not just implementation level, but like kind of fundamentally. Because like I don't know who was sitting there was like, what if we had an enemy that moved as fast as V2 but shot a bajillion projectiles at the player? Hey, Gloom. See, it's kind of funny you say that, Gloom, because I ate stale yogurt. Well, I was sick and I was fine, so I don't know. Maybe get a different brand of stale yogurt. I don't know what to tell you. Oh. Secret? Oh! Ah! What do you mean, what the fuck, Lucy? What did I do? I'm just existing, mate. Them virtues got me fucked up. Let me weapon switch correctly to kill this guy real quick. Kill these fuckos. Filth guy actually chilling near the boxes. Hold on to handle, watch for stability, strap down any cargo, wear safety equipment. Oh, we're about to go up. Mind the gap. Okay, I'll be paying attention now. Also, this track fucking slaps. All good games must have a trade level. Oh, hello there. Hermes. Okay, this boss seems more realized, but also kind of seems a little slow, maybe? It's harmless. Well, that's that, I guess. It seems a bit jittery. It doesn't really move around a whole lot. It seems to have like the opposite. Oh, it seems to have the opposite issue that unfortunate development seems to have. He also doesn't do a whole lot of damage. Also, yeah, the singular schism. Well then. See, the top layer is paradise, so this is like one of the upper layers. This is like Act 3. That's crazy they were trying to develop all that at once. Whoa. But see, this is what I'm talking about. This is cool. So like, damn. What an unfortunate loss that they gave up on it. Cause like, this is some premier sound design and premier level design. Oh my god. Low gravity section. I bet the jackhammers could do some crazy shit. I mean, just look at this. Like, I'll say it, this has some better atmosphere than, like, the base game has. It's kind of wild. And the black hole up there. It's cool as fuck. Oh, God. Damn, okay. He just feels like a stalker, but lamer. I will say, I don't know if there's much application to an enemy that just one-shots everything around them. I mean, obviously there's application, but like, I'm not sure why you would want that, necessarily. It's not like I need help instant killing everything. That's a better way of putting it. Kinda sucks the fun out of the fight. Lore. Hello, if you're reading this, you must have stumbled upon one of my data scraper signal scanners. This will allow you to listen to signals picked up by the area's local data scraper unit without having to put in much legwork yourself. Simply provide an electrical shock to the car radio I've hooked up to this building's transmission tower, and it should pick up whatever the nearest data scraper is currently hearing. Please enjoy. I've left the tip jar in too, in case you like to fund my future endeavors. Please don't steal it. So we just blast it, right? Okay. Oh, that's the challenge of the level. The stalker changes how you go about the encounter, while the neutralizer is just a tool. Yeah. The only way I could see the neutralizer actually being interesting is close quarters combat, where you don't want it to go off, and probably giving it the capacity to one-shot you would also probably be, I don't know, make it more interesting. Because I took a full hit from it, and all that happened was that I was left at 1 HP with full hard damage. Which is bad, but I don't know if it's bad enough to justify its existence. You know, I really didn't know what I was expecting to happen there. Fuck it, we'll eat the 50. V2 don't give no fucks. See, I didn't even notice it was there. The Providence. Hold up, I won in on some of the ultraviolets. at the very least, Neutralizer is cool lore. You know, I've not actually looked at any of the data entries, now that I've thought about it. Damn! That Providence just got fucking domed. Who would win, an angel sent from the heavens or a 50 caliber BMG round? The answer might surprise you. I didn't notice that neutralizer there. I really think the problem with the neutralizer is that it's worse than the sum of its parts. And what I mean by that is that it doesn't really bring anything new to the table because it fundamentally only uses things that already exist in the game. It's like a combination of a little bit of everything. Like, I'm pretty sure it creates a shockwave when it explodes. It, you know, does the whole you got hit by a black hole thing whenever it manages to hit you with the explosion. It yeah. Like even the Craven brings like a little bit something new. I know it's just kind of like the scorpion tail from the hideous mass, but like they at least try to like grapple you in. I don't know. I kind of see where you're coming from though. They're not that great of an enemy. Oh, I see. So this is the this is the unfortunate epitaph that has been left on this project. Layer 7, that's crazy. I couldn't fathom working on every layer at once. That's project suicide. Holy shit. And look at the scale. Like, these are like as large as the main game. Oh my god, the fact that we even got what we got is insane. That's so sad. Cause like you get this feeling, right? Alright. You get this, I call this the gamer's mourner feeling. Or the game dev's mourning feeling, where you mourn the loss of a project because you look at it and you're like, if they just asked for a little bit more help, if they just went on the Discord, asked for help, GoFundMe or something, but you just got to come to the realization that the project management was just fundamentally wrong, and so there was like, it was doomed from inception. If they were thinking that they were going to be able to develop all that from just all at the same time, that's crazy. ULTRAKILL has gotten this far because it took things slow, one at a time. That's what's so crazy about it to me, though, because like I've heard, okay. So the most, the best way I can compare it, right, is from coming from Terraria modding. You see a lot of people come into the mod community and they're just like, I'm going to develop the next Calamity mod. That's the story everybody hears. They're always going to do this big content mod, and you know, we usually hear the whole fluff about how they have a whole lot of ideas but no like skills to do anything of substance with. But then there's also the situation, because like game development requires you to wear a lot of hats. So there's the skills to create something of substance issue, where they come in being the ideas guy, but they don't really have the skills to pay the bills, so to say. But then there's also the project management side of things, and that's also where I see people are just like, well, we're just gonna do everything at once, and then we'll just launch it all at once and everything will be hunky-dory. And it just doesn't play out like that, especially in grander scales like this, where they're essentially just doing ULTRAKILL 2 is essentially what they're doing. And I mean, like, honest to God, it plays so well. The boss is not so much, but like like if you were to throw in Envy minus the bosses and put it alongside the levels in ULTRAKILL, and I were playing ULTRAKILL for the first time, I don't think I would have noticed a difference. I wouldn't have been able to tell you it was a mod layer. So like, man, it that's the rough truth of game development that I really wish people understood before they try diving into it. But at the same time, it's one of those things you don't really realize until you dive into it, is that game development really requires a consistency out of you and persistence, that if you neglect even one aspect of game development, it can tear your project asunder. Because these people clearly have the skills to pay the bills. Like they can create something of substance. But if you have horrible project management, it doesn't matter how good you are. You will not ever be able to create any project. You won't be able to release. And speaking from experience, I have been on that end. Like, I have had some phenomenal people trust in my ability to run a project, and it has gone horribly wrong because I just didn't have the skill at the time. I still frankly wouldn't consider myself as having the skill to run a project at this moment, just because I haven't released anything yet. It is brutal, and that's where the game developer mourning feeling comes from, because you know that despite how much you're just like, if they just had more people, if we just threw everything at the project, we can make it work. But the reality of it is, if Hikita, with all of the money he's brought in with ULTRAKILL, with being #1 repeatedly on the Steam charts, couldn't release all of ULTRAKILL at once, there's no way in hell that these modders had a chance of doing all that at once. There's no way. And that's the unfortunate bit about it. As much as I'd like to be optimistic, I'll tell you what's optimistic. The fact we even got any levels out of it. That's what's crazy. And they're so good. They look so good. It's a damn shame. It really is. I always think the best way to start with stuff like this is to start small as shit. I was originally going to make some complicated levels for ULTRAKILL, but I decided to go make a bare bones simple level with a big dick to start out. You gotta start small. Small as a marble. Yeah, with Reign of Fear, as Taco mentioned earlier, my problem was that, like, even on smaller scales, you gotta break up the workflow. Because in Reign of Fear, right, the whole premise of the mod is that you have things that happen to you kind of similar to Eternal Darkness, kind of like a sanity system of sorts, because it's meant to turn the game into a survival horror, where you get the whole premise, you get phobias depending on how you play, and depending on what phobias you have, certain effects will happen to you and certain buffs will be given to the enemies, etc., etc. But the problem is that the detection logic for whether you get those phobias or not was different for a lot of the different phobias. It's just dependent on the context. And so even for that system, before any kind of content was added to the mod, there was a lot of lateral ground to cover. And so my first attempt at the mod, I tried doing all the phobias at once, and it died. The mod died right then and there. And then again, I tried doing everything at once the second time, and it died again. It's if you don't break up even the smaller pieces into small manageable goals, you'll find yourself overwhelmed so fast. And truly, there is something about game development that will just suck the life out of your willpower if you allow yourself to get buried like that. And you might think, if I just have a big enough team that I can do it all at once. Not true. Not true. You can have a lot of people backing you up. Like I was talking about with the game jam earlier. You could have a lot of people on the team. Doesn't make a difference if you've got bad project management. That is a necessity while you're game deving. Like, I was hoping to, after this stream, actually fix up my schedule so I can like manage my own game development schedule, because I've not been able to do it since I've been sick. Probably looking like I'm not going to be able to do that. Pretty close to my day job. But man, I couldn't stress enough how much proper project management is required for game development, because like, you can teach yourself the skills you need. You don't need college at all. Matter of fact, I would argue that experience is a little bit better. Maybe some practical knowledge is nice. Maybe a free digital fundamentals class wouldn't be bad. But like, you can teach yourself all the skills you need to do game development, but you got to have the right mindset going into it. That is truly the most important part. Everything else can be learned, but man, it it really hurts playing those levels and knowing that there's not going to be any more, to be honest. Those are pretty good levels. Damn. You got me going to my day job depressed now. That hurts. Right, what I said about Unity, I know I kind of broke off from the conversation I was having earlier. No, you're good. Like, they're fucking amazing. I love those levels. I probably replay them for fun. They're great. But yeah, on the conversation we were having earlier, no, I don't do Unity. I started off in college doing electronics engineering technology. That was my degree field. And so I was a hardware engineer for a time and did that and graduated with my bachelor's in hardware engineering. And so when you take engineering field in hardware, they make you do a bit of programming. As I said earlier, it's digital fundamentals. That's what they had me do. So that would be like Python script. We did some PLC ladder logic, gates. We did like ABB, ARM aperture programming. So there is some programming, not too much. We focus more on the hardware side of things. But that was my first introduction into programming and computer science. I would graduate with my bachelor's degree in electronics engineering technologies, only to mess up my right shoulder permanently. So, you know, they don't want a medical liability, most factories. So my degree became essentially kind of useless right out the gate. It was really unfortunate. I never got to do my journeyman's course. But it did allow me to have an edge at getting into programming. So I did Python, and then I jumped pretty much straight into C# with .NET due to Terraria programming, working around modding the game. I've since moved on from that to Godot. It turns out just doing straight game development is easier than modding that fucking game. So I know a bit of GD script, C#, Python. I mostly do C# programming. It's just what I'm more familiar with. I can do GD script. Matter of fact, the project we were doing recently until we put it on indefinite hiatus was GD script. But yeah, I do mostly system design is what I'm a writer, so I do world building, narrative, writing, system design. That's primarily where my skills lie. I do project management for the projects that I'm involved with. Like I said, I'm like, I have an idea how I want things to look in my head, but man, am I so bad at art. I'm so trash at art. So I seldomly get involved with art. I usually have other people for that. I used to do music as a kid. I used to play piano and stuff, so I have some musical talents. I'm a lyricist, I can write lyrics, but I usually find composers, much more talented people than me out there. God, I love the composer I had for the project we put on hiatus. I feel so bad. Like, so guilty that that project probably won't see the light of day, because it was like, imagine if you were to take the combat of Earthbound or Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass and mash it with the gameplay of Zork and have like really dreamcore centric music. Oh, they're a phenomenal composer. The name is Cyan on YouTube. Cyan Music, SI-ANN. Matter of fact, I might just link them on stream. They're such a good composer. Would definitely recommend checking their stuff out. Like, I haven't wholeheartedly given up on the project, but another super important part of game dev, and one of the biggest lessons I think anyone trying to get into game development can learn, is you've got to know, you've got to resist sunk cost fallacy. You have to know when it's over. Because if you stick to the sinking ship and bring everyone else down, nothing good can come from that. Here we go. There's the link. Yeah, they've got fucking amazing music. Yeah. That's my 2 cents on that, and my, I guess you could say, budding history with game development. Like I said, I haven't done many projects. I've only been associated with 2 released projects, and both of them I was just a writer for, so I wasn't like doing level design or anything like that. So I say game development, I'm in game development, but I wouldn't call myself a game developer. I try to scooch away from that title. I don't feel like I've quite earned it yet, so. But yeah, so anyways, that was some cool levels. I definitely want to do more custom levels. I'm in love with the ULTRAKILL custom level scene. I don't want to stop. But work beckons in an hour, unfortunately. So more like a director and writer. I would say game director and game writer would be more accurate. Probably game writer for now, because like I said, I've not released any projects that I was the director for. I just had a heavy influence over those games. So I guess you could say quote unquote producer. I sneezed in the general direction of the game, so I was affiliated with it. No, I was the writer for both those projects. Let's see if I can find them. I can find the Silly Gilly projects. I won't I won't post them in chat, but I'll post them in Discord if you're on there. But yeah. Well, I'm trying to figure out something that I can do from like maybe YouTube or something like that. So for now, as I'm getting unsick, uh, going to old. Ah, don't use Discord. Damn. I mean, I can here. Let me try and find Munch's itch profile. I'm sure she's got it on both of them. I'll post it in chat. I'll post it in chat. Slaps over here like I don't use Discord. Must be nice to touch grass. I wouldn't know. Here we go. Okay. Here's Munch's itch. And you'll see all of her stuff. She works as our lead programmer at Dark Skies. She's fucking amazing. Love Munch. She's so talented. I was involved in Escape Void and the one with loops. I was the writer for both of those. To a degree, I was kind of a structural, like the structure levels, I guess, designer for Escape Void. It was a whole complicated mess because our lead programmer at the time left halfway through that game jam, and so it kind of left us high and dry, and we didn't really have like we really didn't. By the end of that whole situation, it was me, Munch, and I want to say it was our project lead. I don't really remember. I'd have to ask her. But yeah, when our lead programmer left, it was bad. We didn't really we didn't have much anything put together. Everyone was on panic. Uh, so I'd hopped in hopes of hoping to kind of like guide the level design and kind of have it have like a coherent flow. And I think we managed to mostly salvage it, but yeah, it was rough. It was very rough. The one with loops went much better. That was just a me and Munch project. I did the writing. She did pretty much everything else. I'd taken like a crack at trying to work with the physics and fix it. I don't remember if any of the coding I put in was left in or not though. I'd have to ask Munch. I'm I feel like my contributions weren't put in though. I don't know if I ever fixed the problem that the game was having. But yeah, those are the two only released projects that I'm affiliated with. if the critics say that a one Lucy with a Y worked on it, that would be me. Like Munch misspelled my name, but it's okay. We love her all the same. Anyways, it's a good stream. Love those levels. Those were fucking amazing levels. It's so unfortunate to hear what happened to that game or that project. Man, you just hate to see such raw talent go to waste. You know? Man, I'm gonna be thinking about that all day. I might even just look up the OST to listen while I'm doing my delivery rounds. That shit was good. Alright, it's raid time. Let me see if Val's still streaming. Oh man, everyone's streaming. Let's get Goose. Let's get the Goose man. Let's get Mr. Goose. Alright, everybody, I'll talk to y'all later. Everyone prepare for the raid. Raid Shadow Legends. Alright, everybody. I'll catch you around. Bye bye, Titanium. Bye bye.